Hi team, today we're going to be doing a training that talks about marketing systems and social media strategies. My goal for this training is to empower you and to make you feel more confident as you're showing up into the arena of social media. I know that sometimes this can be intimidating, but it doesn't need to be, because we're going to help you come up with a plan that helps you be successful. Our goal is to always work smarter, not harder. So let's dive into some of the things that we can do. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is picking our platform. There are many different social media platforms out there. And before you freak out about having to pick one, just understand that if you use multiple, sometimes things can be diluted. Your results can be diluted. So we really want you to focus on trying to pick one. For the sake of this training, we're going to focus on Facebook or Instagram. But, there's a lot of platforms out there. So which one do you feel most confident with? I want you to remember that social media is your free way to market your business. So here's some ways that will help you narrow down which one is the best for you. So if you're wanting to do Facebook, this is going to be focusing more on engagement. And if you've decided Instagram's your world, that's going to be more about the shares. If you're someone who's new, I want you to think about, where do I get the most engagement or shares when I share my personal information? Because you haven't shared business stuff yet. So think about that, of where you feel most confident. If you've been around for a while and you have already started signing VIP customers, I want you to think about, where was the last place that I got my last 10 customers? Where did I go for that? Was it Facebook or was it Instagram? Where, for me, it's definitely Facebook. But I want you to also realize that just because right now I decide, that doesn't mean that in the future this is the way it always has to be. I have to ask myself, where do I want to go to elevate my business to the next level? So if I'm picking Facebook right now, but after the 90 days, I may be switching over to Instagram to really give that a fair shot as well. We talk about consistency all the time in our business, and in this strategy plan, it's going to be no different. Consistency is one of the biggest things that we need to do. We need to show up consistently in our social media to allow people to see that we are open for business. We're here to help serve. We're here to help solve problems for their issues, right? We want to provide solutions. Knowing this, we're going to determine how many times we want to show up weekly in our social media. This is going to be where you're sharing content with people that bring value to them. So I want you to think, before you determine the amount of times you want to post a week, this would be your posting, your reels, your videos, not including your stories. That's different. But the content where you're really sharing value and information with people, how many times do you want to commit to being consistent with that a week? So now we're going to define your strategy, how you're going to show up on social media. Are you wanting to show up with a very narrowed content, like a niche is what they call that? Or are you going to want to show up using pillars? And this is like 3 to 5 things about you that you want to share with the world. 3 to 5 things that you're passionate about, and that you just don't want to be narrowed down into that one little avenue like the niche. Just to give you a little idea, a niche is going to be more about, think about your groups like gardening, Enneagram, sewing, things like that, menopause. These are very niched groups that talk about their content just on that narrow thought. And about 75% of your content for niche is going to need to be around that one subject. The other 25%, it's okay if, that's the content that you're going to bring that shares a little bit more about you. So if you decide that you want to do pillars, then you're really going to focus on a 50-30-20 rule. And how that's going to work is that 50% of your content is going to be you growing your audience. This is things that are going to bring value, that are going to be funny, that are going to be shareable. I want you to think about the accounts that you have followed. What made you follow them? What attracted you to them? Those are the kinds of things that you want to use to help grow your audience. That 30% is going to be building your brand. And this is going to be things that you're going to be sharing about yourself. This is where your pillars come in. And you're really going to be talking about those areas of who you are. Your goal here is going to be for your audience to get to know you better and to build that trust with you. The last 20% is going to be about convert and sale. That means that you're going to be using 20% of your content to talk about your business, to talk about your products. Earn the right to show up and ask these people if they would be interested in using the products that you're using. Let's talk about how you figure out which one would be the best for you. Okay, so the 3 to 5 pillars, I always tell people, brainstorm 20 things about yourself and things that you're passionate about, things that people how they might describe you, the ways that you feel about yourself. And some of these things can sometimes feel uncomfortable to write down, but really do it. I want you to write 20 things down about yourself. And then I'm going to have you narrow that content down to 5 things. 5 things that really speak about what is valued in your life and what you would like your audience to know about you. So for example, I am choosing pillars, and the things that you would see if you went to my wall would be my faith, my family, I'm a mom of 5, or I'm also a mom of multiples, and I'm an educator. I taught first grade, so education is really important to me, and then my health and my wellness journey. So those are the things that you should see when you go to my social media. So you might be able to go to your best friend, your husband, your mom, and as just a little trial for yourself, ask them, what do you see when you go to my social media wall? What do you see? And if they say that they see the 3 to 5 pillars that you're really trying to work on, then you're doing a great job. If you're throwing cat videos in there every once in a while, that's really kind of diluting what you're wanting to do. So pick the 3 to 5 things, stick with them, and really let your audience get to know you. Now, say you choose to do a niche. A niche is going to be a more narrowed topic, but this is something that you maybe have experience in. This might be something that you, something you can bring the content, and you could talk about it with authority. So for example, if I pick this, I would probably pick mama multiples. I feel like this is one area I could show up, I could talk about it with from experience and act like I know what I'm talking about, feel confident about it. So that is where you might choose to do your niche. So again, just to clarify, if you do the pillars of the 50, 30, and 20% rule, and you are committed to showing up 4 times a week, that is going to be 8 that are going to grow your audience, 5 posts that would build your brand, and then about 3 posts that are going to be talking about your business or your product or asking for the sale. If you choose the niche, then you're going to be doing 75% of your content on that subject. Is going to be very tailored to that. And then the other 25% is going to be talking about things that allow them to see who you are a little bit. Talk about mindset, about the things that you're passionate about and interest you. But it's going to be a very smaller amount that you share with people outside of your niche. So let's talk now about ways that you can create content. So there's a couple different strategies you can use. I want you to think about some accounts that have been inspirational to you. I want you to go back to those accounts, people that you've followed in the last 2 months, and you're going to really look through and ask yourself, why did I follow these people? What spoke to me? What did they offer that I really felt connected with? And then once you do that, I want you to go find those 10 accounts, and then you're going to find 10 of their posts that had excellent engagement, their highest engagement. Really look and see what they were sharing. Use that to get information for your own content that you're going to be sharing. So again, 10 different accounts, 10 post from each account that give you ideas and information about what is trending right now. And then you can multiply that by 10 and come up with 100 different content areas for you to be able to use on your own wall. Again, you can always do brainstorming. If you have narrowed down to 3 to 5 pillars, you can brainstorm off of each of those little pillars to come up with more content ideas. And then of course there's AI. This is a tool that we need to be using. It takes off some of the heavy lifting from what we're going to be doing. So for example, there is an app you can go and you can download, and it's called ChatGPT. And this is going to be an app that you get to go in and you get to type something in like 10 most asked questions about menopause, 10 most asked questions about sewing, whatever it is that you're going to be sharing, one of your pillars, and it's going to come up with all of these things that you're going to be able to use to create content. Definitely want to be using that. So now, friends, your goal is going to be getting into action. I want you to create a monthly calendar, a blank monthly calendar, and you're going to start filling in the content that you're going to be using based off of the amount of times you're showing up in social media, using the rule of whatever it is, the 50-30-20 rule, or 75% and 25%. You're going to create content around the things that you have done to, figure out your content, the 10-10-10 framework, the brainstorming, the ChatGPT, all of those things you're going to be using to create content. And our goal is to create content for a month ahead of time. So that way we're not just going off on a whim. We are actually planning and strategizing of how we can be successful in this business. Always remember, your goal is to be relatable and to solve a problem for what's going on. You are a solution finder, a hope dealer. So thank you for joining this training, and I cannot wait to watch you feel so confident as you show up to your social media platforms.